listening to Pets and Punchlines with Dr. Lisa and Richie Redding. We're pretty sure it's the only pet and comedy podcast with a practicing veterinarian and her comedian boyfriend. Listen every week to hear hilarious comedians talking about the adorable pets they love and getting real veterinary advice. So sit back and say, ruff! Here are the hosts of our show, Dr. Lisa and Richie Redding.
Pets and Punchlines.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode ever of Pets and Punchlines with
Dr. Lisa.
And my name is Richie Redding. We are the host of this show. And I think it might be the best idea that we've ever had. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would highly agree with that. Best idea ever. That you've ever had.
Yeah. And we both have a friend here with us. So the concept of the show, guys, just so you know, is that it's Lisa's veterinarian friends and my comedian friends all sitting down at a table and figuring out all the world's problems as pertaining to their own animals and basically comics, just learning stuff from veterinarians for the benefit of you, our future listeners. while Matt looks goofy to the side. So, Matt Richards, say what's up, buddy.
Yo.
This is one of my best friends.
Love this guy.
He is currently on like 3 TV shows.
Yeah.
He's blowing up like we thought he would.
Joking off on MTV.
I was going to say, don't say what they are.
Every Thursday at 10:30 p.m.
And then you have Ghost Hunting in the Hood coming out.
Ghost in the Hood is coming out in October.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Dr. Alex's face is sitting there like, I'm just a doctor. I don't even...
That's
I'm
way
no
cooler.
TV shows.
Yeah. Never hunted a ghost.
In the hood.
So Dr. Alex, where can people find your services?
Right in your own apartment. So I run and own a concierge veterinary service called Off Leash Veterinary Care. So everyone knows it's a pain in the ass to get your dog and cat to the vet, so we come to you.
Awesome.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And
You guys just deal with dogs and cats?
So far.
Okay.
Yep, and that's offleashvet.com.
Yeah, so if you are one of those weirdos that has a tiger in Harlem, do not call my girlfriend.
Or Dr. Alex.
Yeah.
I don't know, can they call you?
No.
No, is that okay?
Definitely not.
I don't want to speak for him.
Don't call me.
Not interested. But the timing of this whole podcast is pretty wild because Lisa, in the same time, it was like a week after she started doing the mobile concierge stuff, went viral. Like crazy. Tell us about that.
Well, so that's with one of our patients, Samson, a.k.a. Castrodamus, on Instagram.
Hold up. I got to look up the Instagram.
You look him up. So he's the largest cat in New York City. The story broke in the New York Post by a writer named Jen Hoffman, who now we love and adore very much. And then after that story broke, we've since been on... Oh, let's see. We did Good Morning America. We did Good Day New York on Fox. We did Good Housekeeping this morning. The Gothamist later today. Inside Edition is going to be airing later. We have over 21 million views on the Dodo. You want me to keep going? Sure. I mean, it's been on countless. It's gone viral. It's in L.A. It's in Bangkok.
Matt, check out this.
What did you say the cat?
Here you go.
I was trying to find it.
That's the picture that went viral.
I don't know how to spell Castrodamus.
I'm gonna spell it for you.
Right. Oh, really, internet? Now you're gonna jerk me out? Bam.
What the hell is that?
Way to keep it PG, Matt.
I stopped myself because I don't know who's listening.
So it's Catstradamus. I'll give you this here. Catstradamus.
A monster.
Way more followers than me.
How many followers is he at now?
61,000.
61. He went from 11,000 to 61,000 in a week, maybe under a week.
A Maine Coon?
He's a Maine Coon.
And for the record, I'm very uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable saying that.
Yeah.
We were on. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get ourselves in trouble with the name.
Why is he so big? What does he have, like a pituitary thing or something?
No, that's a really good question. I mean, Maine Coons are the largest breed of house cat known to man, but he happens to be the largest one.
What about Cerebrals?
So, the exotic breed of cat, I
Yeah.
guess they're also large cats.
Those are big as
I'm
Yeah.
impressed
As
with
shit.
your...
His knowledge, right?
bruh.
That's why I brought him.
Bro,
Matt,
friend to
is-
all creatures.
He's a friend to all creatures,
Except the
and-
delicious ones.
and nerds
Ate a bacon,
out
egg, and cheese.
like you would not believe.
It's half the farm.
Yeah, but so dude, the way that this thing is taken off is so hilarious. I mean, like me and just from show business, like how hard it is for nothing.
I've been
goes
trying to go viral since
Nothing
high school.
goes viral. 14 years of being a comedian, nothing.
I'm at 8.
Lisa holds up a big ass cat and
Done. Internet sensation.
she gone. Yeah,
I'm not going to front. I was a little jealous. I was calling up my relatives trying to see who had a big ass anything.
He is taking challengers, so.
Couldn't
find anything.
But yeah, and it's an exciting thing that that she's getting all this attention, and she's been amazing on the TV appearances that she's had, and it made us realize that there is no Dr. Oz for pets. So
No, that's dope.
dope.
Let's get a hashtag going. Dr. Oz for pets on Lisa's pictures. I like it. I'm such a stage dad.
We'll think of something.
It's
We'll think of
Dr.
something
Oz
better.
for pets. No, I don't like that one.
Dr.
Make
Oz
it
with
more-
boobs.
Okay.
And tell me how PG I needed to be.
At some point, this thing's going to turn inappropriate. But yeah, so it's perfect timing. And Lise, what drew you to doing the off leash thing?
Well, so I love the idea, like Dr. Alex said, of doing house calls, getting to spend time with my clients. It's a lot of time and attention I think you don't get when you're in a veterinary clinic. And then, for the pets, not being stressed, not having the stress of being in a waiting room, having to travel, having to put your cat in a carrier. I mean, it's stressful for the pets, and it's really stressful for the owners. So many cats every year don't make it to the vet just because it's so difficult to get them there. And it's really important for them to have their.
I brought my mom's
Really.
dogs to
That's
you
right.
in luggage.
That's right. You did
'Cause I couldn't find-
with a
yeah,
lot
I
here with
couldn't
bowling
find-
bags and dogs. I mean, that's plural. Two dogs,
yeah,
one
they're
bag.
tiny.
Yeah,
It
they're
was
Very hood.
It was super because I couldn't find their carrier, and then I was like, "Well, they have to go to the doctor," and
But I appreciated how much you love them, and then we were able to find a donated carrier for each of them.
exactly. That was amazing. So now I have 4 carriers for the dogs.
Got a carrier for the carrier.
Yeah.
What did you take your dogs to Lisa for?
Well, they like my mom is super busy, as is my sister, and they couldn't get the dogs.
Love Tracy, by
She's
the way.
dope.
Love Tracy.
Shout out to Mama T.
Yeah.
She kept like procrastinating with getting their shots finished, and as a result of that, they weren't like going out for long walks. She would just let them out in the backyard.
Now they can
And I
be
was
real
like-
dogs.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
you're stifling their dogginess. So I made an executive decision, and I was like, no, they have to go.
You did
So
agree. You did a
next
good
time
thing.
you can avoid taking your
Yes.
pets and luggage, and we'll just
That's
come to
right.
you.
Exactly.
Well, also now I have the carriers, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
But,
you don't have to put them in it because I don't really like it.
true.
That was the best. The picture of the guy. It kind of went viral that like you can only have a dog on the subway if it's in a carrier. And some dude had like a 70-pound pit bull that he put like a
Oh, in a messenger bag?
I've seen that. That's
Kudos to that dog for getting in the messenger bag.
Yeah, for sure.
And the guy for shoving it in there.
Well, that's some core strength, Yeah.
Pit bulls is heavy.
So Matt, what are your questions for Let's Play Stump the Wizards?
Okay. I was supposed to have questions.
Yeah. We discussed this yesterday.
I didn't get that text
And we'll
message.
edit all this out.
We can go to the next segment and let Matt think about it for a little while.
Okay. Yeah, so a thing that has always been... Way to choke, Matt.
I'm so sorry.
A thing that... Like, the first time that we ever hung out with it was a vet couple that went on to get married. Team Bleff. We went to their wedding, but the guy so Dr. Jeff was at a clinic in Jersey City, and he had some great stories, but my favorite one was that some girl came in like in a sweat, and she's like, "Yo, excuse me, do y'all have a pit bull specialist?" Like dead serious. Like, yeah, you need spots or brindle. I'm like, what do you got, male or female? No, just a doctor. But do you have any? Dr. Alex, do you have any stories from the emergency room? Because I mean, that has to be where some of the funniest stuff happens.
So I did emergency work for a year before starting this mobile practice, but I've seen dogs eat anything and everything. So tennis balls, chicken bones, and one story.
What happens if they actually eat chicken bones? I know they're not supposed to, but
they're not supposed to
because they splinter.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? If comedy doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But if it goes, they can get stuck in their throat, and that's when it becomes an issue. If they make it into the stomach, they'll break down. Sometimes, they might get a little GI upset, but and exactly, sometimes they can splinter and just cause issues. But
have you
the
seen
way
them
out,
actually splinter?
Yeah, they'll be pooping blood.
So what do you? Okay, so
I saw a bunch of
what do you do?
chicken bone shards in a dog's poop one
That
time.
happens. Yeah.
Okay.
That's scary. Sometimes they make it out. Sometimes
Was it
they
your
don't.
dog or?
Yeah.
Your
okay.
dog.
I was trying not to snitch on myself.
Yeah, you made it sound
Being
kind
a
of
shitty owner. Giving my dog chicken bones.
I thought you were just inspecting some strangers' dog's poop.
No.
But so how do you fix that if it splinters?
Just supportive care.
Give them
fluid,
chocolate.
Antacids. Definitely
To help
not
the poop
chocolate
come out.
fired already.
What
Chocolate
happened?
and grapes
Everything
to help
was
the poop out.
fired.
I had a
Don't
feeling.
listen to that.
I had a
Don't
feeling
ever
this
to
wasn't going
listen.
to be the longest job of Matt's.
All right, are we getting this emergency story? Because I think it's
Yes.
probably.
So what happened was this 60-year-old woman came in, thick, very thick Indian accent.
Oh.
I thought she was a very thick woman.
Dudes, I thought you
Thick
said
woman?
I was like, okay, she got a big old butt.
in all the right parts.
Yeah.
Thicker than cold peanut butter.
So she was
Thicker than a
saying she
Snicker.
was actually had a bachelorette party at her house the night before, and her dog has been vomiting profusely. And it's this, probably 50-pound lab. And so the first thing we do is, well, let's take x-rays and see what's going on. Is anything in there? And so we take x-rays, and in the stomach, it's something that we're like, is that a wine cork? We bring everyone in. Everyone's kind of looking, and it's like, well, it's kind of in the shape of no. And so he ends up going to surgery, and they remove the tip of a dildo from this dog's stomach that he ate during the bachelorette party. And so what we always do is we put it in a bag and we give it to the owner to say, if it's a tennis ball, if it's a piece of plastic, this is what we removed from your dog. So
Dildo tip?
a dildo tip.
Just the tip?
Poor
Just
fella.
the tip.
Just the tip.
Now we have a hashtag.
Poor puppy.
We've got a name for this episode, guys.
Just
It
the
took
tip.
us a second. So you go out, like, clear plastic bag.
Clear plastic bag. Here you go. This is what you found. in
I believe you're missing
your
this.
stomach. She said it was just a prop for the party, and it was not hers.
So I'm willing to say that she probably didn't have a party.
Ah, yeah.
I have a private party. That's where
it
you're
was
going
a
with that.
Party of one.
Private party.
I didn't even think of that.
And the
Did
dog
she-
interrupted.
Did she sell the story on the Bachelorette thing?
She sold it well.
And did you directly
the
ask
story
her?
came out after we removed the the tip, so
Did she pull a what?
she was a little embarrassed, needless to say. I mean, we probably had 6 different doctors sitting there looking at this X-ray, being like, "Is
that a dickhead?" We gotta bleep that.
But like you were, did you buy that there was the Bachelorette party? Did you buy her?
It's hard for an older woman to be having a bachelorette party in her apartment,
Yeah.
right? 60 years old.
It's probably one of those
Kind of-
passion parties.
No, oh, she can have a bachelorette party. Well,
And
I'm
do
gonna
Indian ladies turn up like that?
I guess it was a passion party. My grandmother hosts
A
those.
passion. Oh, passion party. Yes, this
where
I know.
They used to call them Tupperware parties,
Right.
but it's where a bunch
But
of
now
women
it's
get
for
together
dildos.
to purchase naughty memorabilia.
Right.
And how old is your grandmother?
She's pushing 70 right about now. She
That
stopped
is-
doing it a while ago,
Good for grandma.
but she used
But
to.
like 60 to 67, she was
No, up until about 60, she was hosting passion parties.
parties.
slinging that Tupperware.
Yeah. It was so funny. I'd be at her house looking to save food, and there was no Tupperware. So,
Hell of vibrators.
yep, just a bunch, you can't put leftover macaroni and cheese in a butt plug. That's not effective.
And that is sage advice for any kids out there listening to this.
I forgot about children.
See, no, guys, that's the whole reason that we did this. At some point, every episode's going to get away from us. That's what.
Yep.
So, at least, didn't you have a dog that
That's
ate
a
a
crazy
bunch of
story.
money one time?
Oh yeah, we had a dog. Yeah, right. We had a dog that ate money, and then I think we bought coffee and pizza with it. So we had, the dog ate money, and we made it vomit, and then we actually dried out the money. And the owner said we gave it to the owner because, like Dr. Alex said, we always give it back to the owner so that they can see, hey, this is what your dog ate, and this is what we did, and it was productive. But so we offered it to the owner, and they said, no, you guys can keep it. So we said, okay. So we dried it out, and then we used it to buy pizza and coffee.
I think it's great.
What was it, Bills?
It was like
Wow.
it was like $40.
Damn.
$60 in change.
In singles, was the owner a stripper? The dog ate 60 singles.
No comment.
That had to be a
Yeah.
weird X-ray too.
That kind of money that you're just going to throw that loot away just because it might have been inside your dog for a little bit.
And it was very
I don't
vomity.
want that dog money.
Yeah.
The doggy.
Wait, you
Yeah,
told me
at
you're
that
not taking
point-
that money?
I would probably. I've taken money from weirder places. I found a 20 in a urinal one time.
In?
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I peed on it to sterilize it, and then I, because my pee washed away all the bum piss, and then I dried it under the hand dryer.
Yeah. I always thought that would be a fun game that you could never actually do, just to like.
Used it at the bar that I found it at.
Nice. But yeah, to play the game of like, what will people pick up out of a public toilet? But it'd be very illegal to put that camera up.
A little bit.
That would be
Yeah.
generally frowned upon.
A little bit.
But at least to keep things moving, you had some kind of stressful case that you didn't tell me about.
Oh yeah, this past week. So I had a 10-year-old female spayed cat who came in for difficulty breathing, but it wasn't like severe respiratory distress. She just had some mild increased effort and rate, and we took an X-ray. She was actually referred to us from another veterinarian who had thought she had air in her chest, and I said, I don't think that's really the
What
case.
does that mean?
So it's a pneumothorax. So like when there's trauma to the lungs and there's air in the chest where it shouldn't be, and
So
it
it's like
compresses
there's
the lungs.
Outside of the lung, there's
Right,
air?
out in between the lungs and the chest wall. So we'd have to.
like a bubble.
Not that stuff.
Yeah, and air outside.
get it
So
out?
it leaks outside from the lungs and leaks into the thoracic cavity or the chest cavity. You get it out by putting a needle into the chest and taking the air out. It's called tapping the chest.
Oh, it's actually chest
So
tap?
that's a chest tap.
Oh, yeah,
So
the
you can take
first-
out air or fluid. Things can be, and then it compresses your lung space, and it makes it difficult to breathe.
Yeah, this is the
So-
stuff that like the medical kind of stuff that is like.
We talk about over dinner.
Yeah,
I
this
tried
is
to.
over
I gave
dinner.
up.
That like she comes home one day like,
Does that-
I taught an intern how to do a chest tap.
Does that happen with Allie? Does she appreciate your gross?
No, well,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to talk about that
Right,
anymore.
right, me neither.
There's definitely some strife between with the house calls I'm doing at home euthanasias, and so the bodies, the cremations, are getting sent back to my apartment, and so that's when she kind of said, "Listen, you got to stop doing that." That's when she kind of
What, having to be
last
sent to
time.
the crib?
You sent to the or just leave it downstairs with the doorman, and I need to hand deliver them because she was like, Fluffy and Lulu cannot be sitting at my kitchen table when I get home. That's
Yeah.
not okay when I have company over.
My
Yeah,
my mom's dog's name is Lulu.
Man, just gets-
Not that Lulu.
I was like, oh shit.
Not that Lulu.
But, okay, so back to your case with the chest tap thing.
Oh, yeah. So I took the X-ray and I said, I don't think that's what's going on here. So we sent them out for stat radiology review, means a radiologist reads them. So, somebody who sits in a dark room and looks at these things all day.
It's also amazing that between like vet and human medicine, that if you guys need a radiologist to look at something, it happens the second that you send it over.
Sometimes, or within an hour.
Yeah,
Depends
like,
when you...
Humans have to like wait a week. It's crazy.
Sometimes. I mean, it depends where you are. I think if you're in an emergency situation.
I tip my hat to veterinarians because you guys don't get to talk to your patients.
I still talk to my patients.
Yeah, well, that's because
Well, they
you're
don't
crazy.
talk back.
But, like, they don't.
I'm crazy. I'm
You're
crazy.
sick in the head.
Yeah.
So
So then she called me and said, "This is the single craziest case I've ever seen."
Really?
And what had happened was
What had
What happened was,
I knew that was coming.
Dr. Lisa.
What happened?
use your name.
She said,
What had happened?
basically the entire chest cavity was filled with the left side of the lungs. So the left-sided lungs were totally overinflated and just crushing the entire right lung. So, so there was just one little itty bitty portion of.
Would that cause congestive heart failure?
No.
No.
You tried.
But
Richie.
yeah, you tried. It's fair.
Let her
It's fair.
finish.
swinging
So the cat had a big ass lung.
So it had an overinflated left lung that was crushing its right lung, most likely from a mass effect or a mass in the chest.
Pretty
That's
much
really
what Matt
difficult to say, but yep. What,
Big ass lung.
Yeah, it had a big.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fair. Big ass lung.
I'll be
Yes.
such a good vet. Hey, your dog is fucked
So,
up, man.
If you didn't get fired that last time, if you didn't get fired about an hour ago,
Yeah.
Okay.
No chocolate.
So the entire thing was.
so its entire chest was filled with just its left lung cavity and crushing its right lung.
Okay. So what was the solution?
Well, we really needed the next step would have been CT scan to see what was causing that and how treatable it was.
Would have been.
No, how treatable it would be. Unfortunately, the owners could not financially afford to proceed to CT scan. So then, we talk about other options from there. But they went home that day to follow up with their primary veterinarian because that was on emergency for me. So.
Oh wow.
You get that a lot.
Yeah.
The insurance is not the same as in human medicine, so to go on, CT scans, MRIs are tens of thousands of dollars, and a lot of people
Really?
just can't afford it. So
Wow. Yeah.
Why is it so expensive?
Why? Well, you know what? If you look at comparisons from human medicine and veterinary medicine, you'll find that actually it's not. You're looking at the cost of medical care, professional veterinary medical care, and when you compare it, somebody did a really nice comparison. We'll have to put up at some point or talk a little bit about more, but that's a really good question. So,
I've always
I mean,
wondered.
it's not a cheap endeavor. It's not a cheap thing to own a pet, but if you look at it relative to human medical costs, it's very comparable and even cheaper. So
yeah,
I mean,
if you didn't have insurance and were paying for a CT or MRI out of pocket, it would be tens of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So it's much.
Yeah, that's just like never seemed like it's something that's a sum of its parts. That like to turn an MRI machine on and to have the tech makes what $100 while he's doing it tops. But like, is that piece of hardware millions of dollars?
yeah, I mean,
for
yes,
them to have to
yes,
pay-
and then
pay out
and
of
for
it?
them sometimes to get it into the building. I mean, I've seen where sometimes to get it into certain buildings, like in New York City, they have to literally knock out a part of the building and use a crane to get it into the building, and then rebuild the entire building essentially, or that
So
wall that
basically,
they've knocked
vet
out.
costs and human costs are to cover the total cost
Well, yeah,
of the machine.
sure,
Of the big
yeah,
ass
yeah,
machine.
that's a big
Yeah.
part of it, sure.
And I
then-
can attest to how good pet X-rays are because I may or may not have.
I don't think you
gotten
did.
My left ankle X-rayed on a on a
I don't think that
doggy X-ray
happened.
thing. Yeah, at least it had nothing to do with it. But okay, you know what? That brings us to like almost the 25-minute mark.
Okay.
Which means that we're going to wrap this thing up with. We came up with this super great idea for an informative segment that we named.
Oh, the informative segment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I present you the informative segment with Dr. Lisa.
Oh, this is it. So I'm Dr. Lisa Littman. And this is Dr. Alex Schechter. And I guess we'll be talking about heat stroke on the informative segment today.
Are we being videotaped too?
Yeah,
You are right
that's
now.
the thing that's happening.
And the weirdest part is that there's synchronized swimming going on in the background. It really does not jive at all.
Okay, well, so then I guess we'll just talk about heat stroke, right? It's really, it's one of the worst emergencies I have ever seen by far.
And you dealt with it this weekend.
I dealt with it this week a few times, unfortunately.
There's a heat wave going on.
Exactly. I mean, it tends to happen in the hot, humid summer months more often. And it's basically when the body temperature gets, too high and the body can't regulate its temperature anymore. And then you start to have breakdown of your proteins and enzymes and clotting factors, and a lot of the things that happen. You have brain injury, a lot of brain swelling. You have, it's
Very
really
happy
bad.
stuff.
You can't clot your blood anymore. You can essentially bleed out. You can have liver degeneration. It's pretty awful.
In like dogs mostly, right?
Yeah, it does tend to happen in dogs, and especially in dogs with flat faces, so brachycephalic breeds, because they can't, they don't do as good of a job as regulating their airflow.
Yeah, they pant differently.
Yeah, so basically dogs don't have sweat glands like we do, so
they
can't
pant.
sweat. So then they're covered in fur, and so they pant to get rid of the heat. And so,
Can cats sweat?
Nope.
But they don't tend to get it.
because they're inside, they don't go on long walks. So typically you would see it when the owner's walking or outside or taking him to the park. It's 90 degrees outside, the concrete's hot.
Yeah, we had a bulldog came in with 107 degree temperature, elevated rectal temperature from
And what's
and the
normal
complaint
temperature?
was
Like 103?
well, you're close. Wow.
102?
10, anywhere from 101.5 to 102.5, I'd say. And then their complaint was really they had just taken the dog for a walk, and then it collapsed, and that was it. And it was a bulldog. So
Really? That quick?
Yeah. In that dog, in that breed. I wouldn't
crazy.
expect that in a lot of other breeds, but yeah. So it's a pretty awful, and then if depending on how long it goes on for, the prognosis can be really guarded.
So what are the first signs of that starting?
Yeah. What?
What's the early detection?
So what you really should look out for owners would be extreme panting or lethargy by the dog. So if you're with a bulldog and he's panting and lays down and can't really move,
Get him inside.
get him inside. What you can do as owners is just throw some cold water on him, on his paws and his body. If you're in the suburbs, just hose him down.
Cool him off.
Never use ice packs.
Why is that?
you don't want to cool them down too quickly. That can also be detrimental. So you want to just put some water on them, not freezing cold, not ice packs, like Alex said, but get them to the vet as soon as possible.
It's like a
It's really-
cool shower maybe in the tub.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Ice packs,
Yeah.
when you have an injury, you put ice packs to prevent swelling, so it causes your vessels on the periphery to shrink down. And so with dogs,
That can make it worse.
that can make it worse. You're keeping all that heat, and you think you're doing it, but you're constricting all those vessels. So that's why you don't want to use.
That's heavy.
Okay, so what temperature is when people should start looking out for that?
So what temperature? So, I mean, it can happen anywhere above normal temperature when they can't regulate their normal temperature anymore.
Hey!
Hello.
Best dog ever.
Oh, I love this dog so much.
Does she have a heat
It's
stroke?
not normal.
She don't have a heat stroke. Yeah.
Sorry, Al. That's hilarious. Yeah, so it's a really awful emergency. I would be very, very careful. I'd say a good tip is that if it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your pet.
Walk your dogs
And
at
that's-
night during a heat wave.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Or let him pee inside.
Yep,
Like my mom does.
yep, exactly. Your mom pees inside?
No.
Yeah,
Strictly.
she does.
Actually, strictly.
She
But
does.
okay, that is the informative
All
segment.
right.
Matt, let's golf clap Dr. Lisa and Dr. Alex. Yes.
Thank
golf
you.
Clap for them.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
folks, that is the first episode ever of
This
Pets
was
and
dope.
Punchlines.
Great,
How do you feel?
wonderful, great.
We did it,
It's
right?
great. We did it. It's
Yeah.
great.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. We'll do it. This is your show. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
thanks for having
Oh, yeah.
me.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I'm here.
The question is, can I be a guest on Ghosts in the Hood
where we shoot in L.A.
You white enough?
Are you going to be the ghost?
I hate him.
Are you going to be the
I
ghost?
hate
Can he be the ghost?
That's racist. But probably. Don't die. Don't stay alive, man. The animals need you.
Are the ghosts? Do you think the ghosts in the hood are they black ghosts or white ghosts?
I mean, ghosts. Once you become a ghost, you don't have a race anymore. Now you're a ghost.
I think it's, but you're getting haunted by the previous person that was.
No.
Okay. You know what? This has gotten away from us.
Yeah, a little bit.
So Matt, where can people find you?